everybody. Welcome to the Higher Estate, where we talk about all things plant-based. I usually say cannabis, but now we're going to talk about all things plant-based, and we bridge the gap between the medical community and the regular, just everyday, all people community. And then we're also going to talk, we get right into the politics of things, and as usual, we've got Lee. What's up?
Hey, everybody.
And
back again.
every day. Hey, everybody. Back again. And we're going to talk about who's fitter. I think maybe a little bit more. He could probably, punch harder. I don't know.
Well,
what do you think?
We're not going to talk about Ira's fat state.
Oh, can't say it. Can we say that anymore?
Because he's going to work. Oh, wow.
Can you say that anymore?
I can say whatever I want. I don't have no bosses. I don't have no rules.
I do. I know. You can't be canceled. You can't cancel me when I've already been canceled. Whoa, this is falling over. All right, so what were we going to talk about today? I actually want to talk. We're going to start off by talking about current events, things that are happening. Well, I'm not going to talk about too much outside of the world. We could always do that, but let's talk about what's going on right here at home. Let's talk about hospital. What's that? What's that?
Let's talk about our hospitals.
Let's talk about the state of the hospitals. I'd like to. So we have me on the medical side. We have Lee representing the community and what the regular person sees when they go into a hospital and what they see in the news. And something that really got me yesterday is I read an article that showed our premier standing in, it was probably a month old though, standing in one of our hospitals saying, look at all the bed capacity and the increased bed and resources that we're giving to the hospital. But yet when I work in the hospital and what we see when you call the hospital, or you can now actually, did you know, all the wait times are now online. In everywhere from Alberta all the way to Ontario, you have wait times of over 10 hours to see a doctor in the emergency department. Right. Well, I say, no capacity. What happened to the money? Oh, look, we should get him a mic. We got our producer in the background who's really dying to add stuff in on this. But what happened to 60 billion? There's more than that. There's a lot of money thrown into the hospitals, and where did that money go? Where do you think that money went?
The health minister got asked point blank, and he said he could not say how many people got hired or how many beds a month. Just doesn't know. That's it.
How is that corporation being run? What do you think?
Well, it's no different than the cancer treatment.
Right.
We raised billions of dollars for cancer treatment, and we're still at the same stage we were
100 years ago.
In the 1800s.
Yeah.
I asked a couple doctors, I guess you don't want me to say names, but...
No, don't say names.
I asked a couple doctors, like, why do you keep doing chemo and radiation when it doesn't work, if it doesn't work on the person? And they said straight, that's all we have. I said, so all that money that you guys have got, not the doctors, but the institution has got over the years, and we can't figure something out? And then
we're going to be changing that.
And then some guy like me comes along and can help people. Doctor sends him home to die, and I cure him. That doesn't make sense.
Right. But where's the funding gone? So where has the funding? Where do you think the funding goes? $63 billion, and they can't tell you how many more beds.
$63 billion. How long?
Oh, right. Just in the last 2 years.
60. So just imagine $63 billion.
Yeah.
$63 billion. Well, give me one of them billion. Give me one of them billion.
That's what we're working on.
And I'll hire the right people. We'll have the right people with us, and we will cure cancer. You don't have to worry about it no more. We'll take care of it.
It's true. It's I'm not really sure what happened to all the funding. Yeah. Where would pharma put all that money? I mean, they just pay him. Okay, but that's private. So Pfizer's profits were $63 billion last year.
No. Pfizer's profits.
No, there's $60 billion.
Were way more than that.
No, that's what they claimed. 60 or 63 billion. Yeah, just from COVID.
Okay, on top of what they're already making, but their stock evaluation
Yeah, no, I get that, but that's not fun. So the way that funding works, the province asks the federal government for help. They give them a budget. The money's given to the province, and then the province decides what to do with it.
For now, what happened is that right before pre-COVID happened, that whole
Are we going to be able to hear you?
yeah, because I have the mic on for the camera. Is that through Gavi, the procurement and the distribution of vaccines all goes through them now, which is Bill Gates.
Right. Okay.
So
Oh,
that's
here we go.
No, but that's where a lot of the money gets funneled through. That's where it goes.
You know what? It doesn't really matter where it goes.
Yeah.
It's not going to the right place.
That's right. So I agree with you, Lee. 100%.
So, we can sit here and say it goes here, it goes here. You'll never know where it goes.
It's going to the UN, to the WHO.
But I'll
But
tell you.
who cares where it goes if it's not getting to the place it needs to
Right.
go?
If it's not getting to the people and we're not getting a new cure or we're not getting new trials, we're not getting nothing. Okay, so,
Did you just say new trials?
yeah, new trials.
Thank you.
We need trials. We need trials.
Hold on. Yeah, he shake his head.
No,
Oh,
I agree we need trials.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
If it's going to take 35 years,
It's not going to take 35 years.
to do something.
It's not going to take. It just takes funding. That's what it takes. We have the team because we know we're moving forward. I already told you about that. It's just all it is funding. Put that closer to yourself. It's funding. You gotta to build a trial. It's just funding and funding. But it's going to come in. Don't worry. It's all happening.
I'm not
We're going to
worried.
be doing
I'm not
it.
worried about anything to do with the funding or anything to do. I'm worried about why we're in the same position 100 years later.
I agree with you. It is frustrating, isn't it?
And then guess what?
Especially with all the geniuses we have.
We die, the
Yeah.
next ones take over, and it never goes anywhere.
Because the incentives haven't changed. That's the thing that hasn't changed. People make money off of the status quo.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be.
I mean, that's why I think.
Like, it's pretty sad I have to spend $4 million of my own money helping people for the last 4 or 5 years.
He has, yeah.
Change that, though. That's the problem.
Well,
That's what we're doing now. We're trying.
people got to open up their minds and say, hey, we're going to go raise all this money this year. We're going to give it to them. But next year, we're going to be in the same spot. Oh, we might have one nice little room built or something. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking to help people.
Yeah.
Change the paradigm.
And when they say, oh, we raised $63 billion, well, I don't want to see 63 new mansions out there and new cars to go with them because they run that foundation.
Agreed.
I don't need anybody to run my foundation. If I had a foundation and I raised $100 million, that $100 million would be spent inside that room.
That's
not
correct.
one penny for me. I have my money.
It's like
Right.
UNICEF, right? How
So-
much money goes to actually.
Well, this is why we're creating our own foundation, Lee. This is
Exactly.
why we're doing it, so that we don't, so the money goes to where it needs to. But I'm going to give you an example of how difficult that is, not from the perspective of you can raise the money, of what the rest of the world is going to do. And I'll use my father as an example. My father started a charity for the same reason, probably about 30 years ago. Because he was frustrated, and this was in the Jewish community. He was frustrated with all these other charities raising millions of dollars, but none of them get to the people that need it. What happens if your fucking car breaks down in the morning and you're a single parent and you can't take your kid to, you can't get to work and you can't take your kid to work? And what happens if you don't have a place to live tonight? And the money's not getting to the people that need it. So he started this charity that was kind of like an emergency access charity. The shit he got into from the entire foundational world because he was giving money to people versus the whole bureaucracy of the thing. It was a nightmare for 20 years. Now they don't care.
Can't trace it.
So
Well, he always traced it. He still had a charity. It was all the...
Just mean like the people can't trace it.
But that's what we're going to be doing. Now, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get to that point, and there's a whole plan in place, and it's working. We're working towards it. But I think one of the things that Lee is about is action, right? You can spend a lot of time talking about things, but I think one of the things that makes Lee quite unique is his passion towards wanting to do something and then doing it and making it happen. It doesn't happen overnight, no matter which way you look at it, but
it takes time.
but we're at the point where you got to make something happen.
But let me explain one little thing about raising money. So Kenny Hill, that passed away, great guy, and Jerry Montour raised money in dream catchers.
Yeah, dream catchers. Yeah.
And every year they would raise millions of dollars. And you know, you pay to go to the dinner, they put all that money in the dinner and they pay for the dinner. Like they're just unbelievable guys. Jerry and Kenny were unbelievable guys.
Yeah.
And when they had an overweight guy and he couldn't move and he couldn't get in the car, he couldn't do it, what did they do? They took that money and built him a car and give it to him. Everything was there. When a little kid needed a special wheelchair, they got him the special wheelchair. If they needed hockey equipment for kids that don't have it, they went and got them hockey equipment. But I mean, they were fulfilling people's dreams and helping people with medical or whatever they could help them with. But why can't everybody be like that?
Well, because not everybody has.
Like,
hold
if
on,
you-
I'll tell
but
you.
hold it. But if
I'll
you're-
tell you
no,
why.
no, if you're
people
running it-
also don't have. 1 second. People. Okay, you continue, and I'll say.
If you don't have the right outlook for helping people,
You're right.
don't help them. Give
Right.
the money to someone else. Go to work. But if you're there, oh, I run this foundation, so I should get $33 million a year.
Yeah, it's
Who in the
crazy.
fuck are you?
Yeah, I agree with you.
I pay
Now-
$4 million a year.
Right.
The goals of the foundation aren't to help people. That's the fundamental problem, right? Is that it's
They only have to send a percentage of how much they make. It's really sucks.
And you know what? That's the sad part. They only have to send a percentage.
Yeah.
So, oh, we made $63 billion, but we're only going to send 9.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
9?
But
Why?
now,
well, we got some CEOs that need new houses.
right.
That need
But
new
what,
cars.
What makes people like Jerry and Kenny so successful in their ability to do that is that they don't need to rely on the foundation for their own life. Right? They don't have to take. They have. It's not their money. That's they make their millions
go to work.
elsewhere. Yeah, they go to work. They make their millions elsewhere. And I agree with that. I think when it comes to foundational work, you have people within the foundation, especially of an infrastructure of a foundation, that need to get paid at the base in order to make the thing run, because you're not going to be spending 24 hours a day doing that, or you're not going to be able to do your hustle. So you're going to hire.
But hold it.
You're going to be hiring somebody to do that.
I agree with you 100%. But one thing I got to say is, when we hire this guy, he doesn't deserve a $14 million a year paycheck.
No, of course not.
Not from the foundation. That money's got to go help people that are dying of cancer and dying of sicknesses, and build the proper lab so we can check things out and have the
But
proper
you have to pay people
scientists.
to do those things, to be the scientists.
But that's.
You have to pay the scientists.
But guess what?
You have to pay
But guess what? That money's well spent, because that's
Agreed.
called 100% into the
Yeah.
into it. You're hiring a guy to cure it.
Right.
They're hiring a guy to put new furniture in their house every year.
Right. I agree
Not
with you.
right.
I agree with you.
so much of it is on marketing. Like,
Yeah.
So much of it.
Right.
That's not justifiable.
No, it's not. You do need a marketing team in order to sell a product. You don't need billions of dollars.
5% of the money.
No, that's crazy.
Hey, but
no.
no. But you need your marketing. You need your salespeople. You
Yeah.
need.
25%. Let's
But.
back it, you know?
But
I
let's
think a
be-
foundation should just focus on being a foundation. And that
Exactly.
money has to go to the people that need it. I'm with Lee on this one.
Hey, if you got a great foundation and some guy's making $1 million a year for running it, I agree. He should.
If it's making
if it's
20 million.
if it's $63 billion and he's taking $1 million, who cares?
Right.
He raised more
I
money.
agree with you.
If he brought more money in, then yeah, okay. You can
Yeah, but even then, I think the money, like our goal is to bring, is like a foundation should, a foundation is,
We
you don't,
need.
call it nonprofit for a reason.
Hey,
Yeah.
we need to get
that
the
closer
money.
to you.
We need to get the money to help people.
Yeah.
And if we don't have the money to help people, we're done.
Yeah.
Because no one's good. And the sad thing about most sicknesses, families don't talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and if they started talking about it, for me, I've helped over 1,000 people now.
Yeah.
1,000. That's a lot of people. Over 1,000.
Yeah.
And not all for cancer, for autoimmune, breathing,
Yeah.
COPD, everything, you know?
Uncomfortable today.
But I'm just saying, it's not right for
Yo.
that.
We're good.
It's not right for that to be like that.
Oh, that's why.
We need
no.
we need to be able to help the people.
Yeah,
you know?
we do.
It's like going to the doctor, okay? A doctor told me the other day, sitting with me, that, Lee, do you realize it's about $800 for a person to go into the hospital before the doctor even sees them? It costs the government that.
Well, It costs, I know the numbers, but it's about $670 to be seen in an emergency department. One night in an ICU is $3,500. So imagine if we helped obesity. Obesity is like the number one risk factor for people in like ICU. Imagine we cut out certain diseases. We focus on preventing those diseases, and $3,500 a night. A night.
So, Ira, you're a doctor. What do you think of this?
You love pointing that out to fucking. You're the only guy that I know that says it in the shittiest possible way. You're a doctor.
No, but you're a doctor.
The only guy I know that can insult me by calling me a doctor.
And you're a good doctor. But let me explain something.
Yeah.
What do we get out of going to the hospital and getting the same thing over? Like, what I'm going to say is, I have somebody I help.
Yeah.
They take 16 pills to breathe. 16 pills.
Yeah.
And 3 puffers.
Yeah.
And they fight every day to breathe.
Yeah.
I get him to take one of my pills.
Yeah.
He stops 15 of the pills. The only one he takes is his enlarged heart pill. I don't even know if he needs that, but he takes that, and he doesn't use his puffers anymore. What are we doing?
So I would happen to, and this always brings up the point that I talk about, is the paradigm shift in what cannabis can help with. Again, N of 1. But I've done hundreds of thousands of patient visits, and I've seen people on 13 to 25 laundry lists. I'd say the number one reason, to your point, that people come to like see somebody who will help them with cannabis, or to a physician who will prescribe cannabis for them, and is over the age of 65, and they're frustrated because they're on a laundry list of these medications that over the years we've been told that you need 9 medications to help one problem. But now and then for the last 2 decades, for you, for 3 decades, 5 decades, however long you've been working with cannabis, you've noticed, and you will notice a trend that people, the paradigm shift is no longer 9 medicines for one disease, but 1 medicine for 9 diseases.
Exactly.
And that's the paradigm shift with cannabis. But again, where does pharma, like, how does pharma interact with that when you now have just 1 medicine? It's not worth their time for them. It's worth our time because our incentive is helping people. And Lee's like clear agenda in life has been for the last 5, 6, 10 years, whatever it is, literally giving away millions. I've seen it. I see it. He gives it away. You can't even try to give him money. You can't give him anything. He'll just give it away.
That's against the law.
Yeah, no, I know. But also because you're a good person.
Well,
it's
against the law.
It's not just because it's against the law. But I don't. He says it's because it's against the law. I don't think he gives a shit so much about the law as he does for people. Because I've seen it.
Exactly. I care more about people.
Of course, I'm in your house seeing people literally 11 o'clock at night. He's still like, oh, here's some guy's coming over to talk to me because he has cancer and was told to go home and die. Most people don't do that, Lee. No offense. I can't. I'm trying to offend you in a nice way.
Yeah, but
hold on.
I feel sorry for people. Like yesterday, I got a call.
No. Cut that out.
One of my patients.
They're not your patients.
That's my patient.
No, they're not your patients.
They sent her home to die. Now I take care of her.
But they're not your patient.
But anyways,
they're a human.
Anyways, I went to her home, and
and it doesn't matter. You can't mention names. Take that out.
That meant the world to her.
We're gonna cut that name out.
That meant the world to her.
So
I went to one of my patients' house.
You went over to a friend's house.
I went over a person that I'm helping with cancer.
Right. Yes.
And I'm going to be honest with you, that meant the world to her, and I was happy to do it.
Right.
And I was supposed to go on a trip, but I didn't end up going. But I was happy to stop there and see her and give her a little bit of encouragement because she is doing good.
Yeah.
She is doing very good. But they go through little ruts and to try to get out of them. But the whole thing is, we need someone like you to stand up one day and just do a podcast on everything in the marijuana, how it's I know, but do it again because people need to know. People need to know about the body and marijuana. They need to know. Yeah, and that's
so, but
right.
I have. Listen, I like. So I'll tell you where I get upset. I'll tell you for 12 years I've been doing that, Lee. I've been walking, literally toeing the line when nobody, or beyond the line when nobody else was, saying this is what cannabis can do for you. So I've been doing that. I have been, and the benefits of cannabis. I speak about. I don't speak about specific drugs because those drugs need to be studied. But I talk about cannabis in a general sense, how it does help. I mean, there's no way you can say I'm
No,
sitting
I
here.
didn't say that. I said they need to hear it. And
Yeah,
they do.
so- but
They need to hear it more and more and more
I agree
and more.
with you. Yeah, but I mean, I think we've done it in medicine. When I started, 97% of my patients were self-referred when I started working with cannabis. Self-referred, meaning they came by themselves. Now, 99.9% of them are referred from other doctors.
Exactly.
So that has changed the world. Now what we need to change, I think, where we've moved on to is it's a cancer time. Like, I mean, it is. It's time to take cannabis to the prime time, and to get there, we need to do some more research. Now, certainly, Lee is doing it on his own. Like, I mean, well, and he's got his medicine and he's giving it to people. Great, we're going to take that and we're going to be putting it into a whole thing.
Well, I agree that we need to keep helping people, but I also need to agree that we got to be able to help people. Not 20 years from now. I won't be here.
I
probably.
agree.
We need to do it now.
Yes. So I agree with you. So it's a good conversation, because where's the line between the medical and the community world where we can say, well, I can't wait 20 fucking years. And I agree with you. Like, my heart says you can't wait 20 years. Not just because you're going to be dead. Hopefully you'll still be here. But well, because my mission is not to help people in 20 years from now and wait for some study that's going to come out. Right, exactly. Now, we have a do no harm and then do everything else, So I used to have this, my motto used to be do no harm, then do everything else you can. That used to be my motto. And I mean, it still is. But the question is, it's tough. It's tough as a physician how do you balance it? It's a tough balancing act. So you need guys like Lee that are just going to go and do that. And I support that. And what's that? How do I balance the need for evidence versus the need to help somebody right now?
When to bend the rules, when to put your patient first.
My patients always come over policy. Always. I will always choose what is right for my patient over what's right. Look at me. I've been investigated for 8 years because I thought I was putting my patients first. So clearly I'll put my patients first.
But that's what you're supposed to do.
No, but people need to hear that from doctors, because not all doctors do that, and that's where the rub is.
But can you blame doctors?
No, but it should be transparent.
Right. But do doctors really believe I'll tell you, it's a scale like everything else. In our community, in our medical community, you have doctors that certainly wholeheartedly believe you can't do anything without having absolute proof. They will do nothing, no matter what the harm profile is. And well, there are still people there, like I know some ICU docs who will. Oh yeah, journal. Okay, let's not talk about journal articles itself. I know I couldn't even get stuff. Yeah. So the problem is the journal articles themselves. The journals themselves have their own investors. The CMAJ itself went through a very big scandal in. Yeah. Well, if you go back to 2003. 2004, sometime around then, the editors in chief all quit because it was that journal in particular. I think we have to define the word corruption.
Saying that deciding what a study is going to say before the study happens, designing it in certain ways for the outcome to be that.
You can design any study. Well, you definitely. I'll tell you, they definitely designed that study published in the CMAJ to prove a point, which was ridiculous. He relied on his. Well, forget who he worked for. He used his own calculation. Like, he referenced himself as the model that was wrong on its face. And he was, yeah. So, okay, but you asked me the question. It's fine, but you asked me the question. Look, I'm on the fucking hot seat now. I'm like starting to squirm around a little bit. I'm defending patient care. I think the majority of physicians want to do good. The majority, would you agree with that statement? But would we agree with that statement?
Yes, but they're in a tough spot.
Lee, hold on.
Well,
would you agree with that or no?
Well, I have no...
Bring your mic up.
I have no respect for a doctor that knows when he's right, but he's got to say something else because he's not allowed to say it.
The rationalization.
I don't agree with that. Like when somebody goes to school for a lot of years, like doctors do, and they learn they're going to be a doctor. Why do doctors be doctors? They want to help people. And it's in their blood and their body to help people. You know, you see an old lady picking up paper on the street. She wants the front of her house clean. That's why she does it. But when a doctor can't speak his own mind in this world and he's going to get in trouble, we got a problem.
Informed consent went away with the COVID vaccine.
Okay, but we're not talking about informed consent now.
Exactly what he's talking about.
But when I was a kid, let me tell you something.
No, he's talking about me saying that this pill is curing cancer.
No, I'm talking about
the immune booster
doctors that can't stand up and say, I believe in this without getting in trouble.
Because we can't, because in my heart, until that shows me in a study that it objectively works for more than one person, I do not believe that it is safe for me to come up there and say this works, so that they take this instead of something that I know has more evidence.
The pill towards the COVID vaccine, you cannot say that. You cannot speak your mind, and that's the informed consent that went away. That's the problem.
Oh, you're right. They can't tell you. They can't tell you the truth about COVID.
You can't say that, right?
Why don't you just tell them what COVID did to you?
I have spoken.
Yeah, speak up what it's really done for you.
I've spoken.
Well, speak up about the last shot you got.
The first shot.
The second shot.
No, the second shot was fun. The first shot is what put me in the hospital.
Yeah, almost killed you.
I did speak up. Have I not spoken about that?
You're very, very lucky that a certain person sent you something to get you out of that. Or you might not be here.
Okay, so I do believe that I've spoken about, I had COVID in, I guess it was November or December. The vaccine came out, the initial vaccine came out in January. All the doctors went to get it. I went and got my first vaccine. It was probably just over a month after having COVID, and I ended up with aseptic meningitis 2 days after getting the shot.
And double pneumonia.
And I did have pneumonia as well, yes. And
you were on it, and you had 106 temperature.
My temperature was through the roof, and I spent 10 days.
10 days.
10 days in a hospital.
6 days in a bed of ice. You had a great holiday there for 6 days.
10, yeah. I was hospitalized for 10 days. I did think I was going to die, and I did take that immune booster that was now Terpaid, and that's when my fever started to break. Now, for me, it worked. I can't say that nothing else was working. We did everything. I was in a hospital.
Well, I can say if 100 people work because I gave it to them and it's worked. So.
Right. Oh, okay. But until what I can say is, it works. Definitely it works in the sense that all the ingredients within it have evidence to work on cold, flu, viruses, inflammation.
Inside the vax?
No, No, we're not talking about the vaccination. We're talking about Terpaid. Our immune support spray. So, everything in it we're allowed. I could say that. It works for flus and colds. And I'll tell you, and it works for inflammation. And the terpene profile that's in it works for, the whole thing in combination helped me get out of the hospital. I literally thought I was going to die.
And help one of my good friends that was going to go on a breathing machine. We give
That's
him that.
for me. I don't think I could get in trouble for me saying that it helped me. I was going to die.
Popular protocol for COVID apart from the established,
So let's take. So hold it. Now that I got this train of thought, let's take.
We don't have vitamin C in it anymore. Vitamin D, zinc.
So listen.
Elderberry. And a terpene profile, NTVRL.
We take $670 to walk into the hospital before you see the doctor to go through all the things. Why can't they walk in and say, "What's wrong? I don't feel good." Okay. We got a doctor here who's going to see you. Here, take this immune booster and go home.
Well, because we can't say that, because then they go home and die.
No, I'm just saying, after the doctor sees them, they say, okay, you got COVID or you got the flu.
It's put into a trial.
Do us a favor. Well, we'll do a trial.
Yeah, but
do
that's
us
what
a
we're going to
favor.
do.
Try
Yes.
this. Go home, try this 3 times a day, under your tongue,
But they
3
can.
shots.
That's what we do. We don't. I personally in the hospital try to prescribe nothing when I send some. My first goal. So no pharmaceutical companies like us in the emergency department. We make no money for them because everything we prescribe is basically generic, and we send people home, right? So they like cardiologists and gastrointestinal. They don't like emerge docs. That you'll never hold on. You'll never see a pharmaceutical rep come to the emergency department and try to sell you something, try to sell the doctor's stuff, because we don't make money. We cost hospitals money. We cost system money. The only things you see is maybe an ultrasound machine that people want to, here, this ultrasound. Wait a second, this fucking guy. Nobody can hold on for a second. So we don't charge. We cost the hospital money. We cost the system money. We don't make pharma any money really, because we try to really not use like medicines very often. I rarely try to prescribe antibiotics even to people, but when they have a urinary tract infection or double lung pneumonia, yes, they need it in that situation. If they can't breathe, I am going to give them Ventolin for whatever. I'm going to give them the medicine that has been tried and trued and been studied, objectively studied and validated, not just studied by the pharmaceutical company, but also validated independently. Before most academic physicians use drugs, they have to be studied in a trial, then independently validated somewhere before we use these things, right? Because remember, the goal is to help people. We don't just want to willy-nilly, in the emergency department, we just don't want to willy-nilly let people go, hold on. Yeah, I know people don't believe that anymore, but that's not my fault. That's not the fault of emerge docs. That's the fault of politics and healthcare getting fucking messy. And what's happened over this pandemic. Yes, that's correct. And Big Pharma having a large agenda. But remember, our agenda is it might be more virtuous, but it's still an agenda. We need money to go try and help people, to save people's lives. It's still an agenda. It's just a more virtuous agenda.
I don't need a Rolls Royce. I got one. I don't need a Ferrari. I got one.
I know you
I
have
don't
those
need all
things.
that shit. But that's not the problem. The problem is I will sell all of them to help somebody.
I know, and you will. I know you would.
Therefore, does a parallel system need to be done? Because
When you say a parallel system, do you mean creating a privatized healthcare system?
not necessarily. It can be a socialized one, like in terms of it's pulled together. There's lots of different formats, but one that's outside of the current structure that exists now.
We know we need to blow up the original system. The system was broken on its face.
Oh, but okay, but then what's the more effective way of doing it? Building one
I don't know.
or blowing up the other one. I'll tell you, it's almost always building it on the side of it and
No, we need to create a new system.
I have a country, I won't name it yet, but I have a country that's invited me there. I'm going to go to that country probably within the next 6 weeks, and I'm going to sit with the Prime Minister. He believes in what I do, and I believe that if he gives us the okay to do what I want to do, I think we'll be on our way to cure cancer.
Well, certain types of cancer.
Well, let's say 90% of it.
No, we'll cure. I do believe we'll be able to cure these things with proper research.
Right.
you'll be able to do the research.
But I mean,
That's the
in this
right-
country, they're not letting you do the research.
No, it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
You're like,
to do.
hey, here's a nice one to talk about. I just helped a girl that had a tumor in her stomach with the water, the tumor, like a
Don't
basketball.
mention any names.
No, like a basketball. She's from Barrie.
Oh, okay. Now we're getting more specific.
No,
Keep
but-
out the
but
location.
Barrie's a big
you
place.
could right. You could say the hospital. You could say what happened.
I'm not going to
It's
say the
me.
hospital. I'm just going to say she got treated like a piece of shit in the hospital. You're a spoiled little brat. Do what you're told. That she says, hey, I want you to operate on me and get this out of me because I have no chance of life with this in me. You know, the doctors told her in a nice way to fuck off. So you know what she did? She took it to the board in Toronto.
That's right. She took
And
it to the
guess
college,
what?
and that's what they have to do.
Guess what? The board told them to do it. Now they're doing it. And now she's been living an extra 6-9 months and healthy 6-9 months.
Yeah.
And her 16-year-old son doesn't have to watch her die. And the nurses and doctors, she told me this, and the son told me, they would walk by and say, you know your mother's going to die. Now, what kind of fucking talk is that? It's not right.
No, that's not right.
Like, we all have children, right?
Yeah.
How would you like someone to walk by and say, hey, your dad's going to die?
There's no humanity to it. It's
Right. And you know, cancer now, cancer to me, and I don't know a lot about it, but I do really want to go one time for a tour to most of the hospitals because I want to see how they do this chemo and this radiation. I hear you're like a dog. You're sitting in a chair. If they don't call a number, they call you by your name.
There's it depends where you are.
But I'm just saying.
But it is a room and they have multiple chairs.
Hey, I
you could
remember
go
when
into,
my
you get
doctor
chemo,
used
and
to
you
come
can
to my
leave.
house to see me.
Yes, so
when
right,
I was
so
a kid.
so it's interesting. Funding. So for me too, when I was growing up, we always had doctor's replacement. They came to the house.
Sure.
Even my own family doctor would come on his lunch break. You know, if I was sick, they don't have funding for that kind of stuff anymore. There's no funding for any of that.
I agree, but where is the funding going?
Right, so there is funding, but it's not translating. And what they do is they take it away from the physician and the healthcare provider they take it from the lowest rung in healthcare, which is the provider, and they say you guys are making too much money, and then they give it to themselves and they give it to something else. But the people that need the money, I think a physician has the right to earn a living and make money doing what they do in their profession. But when you when you take that away from them,
I
and
think
you
a
don't
good
give them,
doctor, every good doctor could make as much money as he wants if he's really helping the people.
That's correct, but they take.
You know, if you're doing a ripoff, no. But if you're really helping and you really sincerely care, make as much money as you can.
But you lose that ability. The regulators regulate, and the Health Canada will regulate, exactly how much that individual is allowed to make. For example, you come to the emergency department during the daytime hours and you're really sick, the doctor's making $24.
So imagine a parallel system.
Imagine
where
that.
Everything is crowdsourced, where you have the ability to rate a doctor and pay.
Well, you do on Rate MD.
No, but you as the patient.
We haven't even PS gotten through current events.
To not only vote on it, but vote with your dollars on it. That's the difference.
Say that again?
Is not only vote on it like you can on WebMD, but a parallel system where you can vote with your dollars. And you decide how X amount of money that gets donated or how it gets spent.
They'll never let you do that.
Well, that's
Because the guy that runs it doesn't get to live in that $30 million home.
See, that's the problem. And until we address that, then all this shit, it doesn't really matter, right?
I don't even know how somebody could sleep at night taking that kind of money
Because they live in a bubble.
off
who's
somebody that
taking
could
that
help.
kind of money.
Other CEOs.
Lots of people.
They
You
are,
think
eh?
20 million's a lot of money?
Well, I do.
Not if
Yeah,
you're a doctor.
it's a no.
It's a lot of money for me.
It's a lot of money for me, for you. Okay,
It's not a lot. You're right.
but
It's not a lot of money
for that guy that sits on top of
Yeah.
that. Now,
That board, yeah.
how about the one? How about when you hear on? How about when you hear over there in the States? Oh, this guy lost his job. They give him $137 million.
package to
a
go
package to go
Yeah.
away.
It's
Who
true.
in the fuck is worth $137 million? Me, and that's it.
Because,
Yeah.
on the weekends, I would stay at the mansion in San Francisco that my buddy owned. And the people and the circles of people you interact with, it gets normalized because you
Right.
have that amount of money and you're a different class of person and it's a different rung society and it's segmented out. It's different neighborhoods, different parties you go to.
But what does this have to do with what we're talking about?
Because you get used to a certain lifestyle of the CEO class, and they can't go down. They have to maintain that. So you see, like CEOs change shares all the time.
But how much do you need?
That's the thing. That's why they.
When is somebody satisfied?
Right. When you got a house, you got a car, your family's got houses, your kids got cars, everybody's working. Why do you need to take $1 billion from the company when you don't need it?
Because that's the scoreboard.
Well,
That's
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm never going to agree with anybody that runs a foundation and makes that kind of money.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And then they get bonuses. Why do you get a bonus? Oh, because we raised another $2 billion. But that doesn't give you a bonus. That bonus should go to the people, help them with their cancer.
Our government did the same thing. All of our government employees got raises while everybody was losing their businesses in
Hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Remember when the pandemic first started?
I remember.
I had a bunch of masks.
Yes.
I had about 100.
We donated all of them.
Yeah, I had about 137,000 masks.
He
I
donated them all.
I gave them right to the medical, so there's no bullshit who I gave them
I went right to the hospital
and I gave
with them.
him some for the. But listen, I wanted to help everybody. I had a guy come down for the last part of my mask, put $200 and something thousand on the table, and shook my hand and said, "Thanks, Lee." I couldn't come to myself to give him them masks because I asked him, "What are you going to do with them?" He says, "I'm going to sell them for double." The deal was off. So I took them.
Gave them
As
to
you
me.
know,
Yeah.
I gave them to you.
And
I gave them to other people.
We gave them to countries.
I sent 10,000 to Belize.
Yeah.
On my own expense, and some guy donates 1,000 masks, and he's on the TV. He's a hero.
It's crazy.
He's the greatest guy in the world because he gave 1,000 masks. I gave 137,000. I don't even think I got a thanks. Besides you,
I did fucking thank. I made sure everybody around us thanked you.
But I mean, if you didn't thank me
I'd be
in a lot of ways, no one would have thanked me.
It's crazy.
They even told you, "Oh, they're going to call me later on and thank me."
I made sure that
they didn't call me. They didn't thank me. You know what they said?
Shit.
Fuck him. He's a criminal. We got what we wanted off him. See you later. But guess what? Guess what? It doesn't bother me as long as some child, some mother, somebody got some use of it.
I'll tell you, at the beginning of our emergency department was really thankful too.
Yeah.
Because they, when you had to go in that time too, and
yeah.
I made sure everybody there knew about it. Did a couple posts. I actually even called the hospital and made sure, so Lee literally, the expense of 137,000 masks. I had buckets or crate, what are those things? Fucking sleds, whatever they're called. Cases of masks dropped off that we were delivering all over the place when there were no masks. This guy literally
he had to give some to every coroner.
I did, yeah. We gave them out.
The coroners didn't have a mask.
Yeah, even the coroners. The government couldn't come together to get us governments. But in the meantime, this guy was going around giving them to everybody.
And you know why that happens?
And yeah, nobody really thanked him.
Because you know why that doesn't happen? Because there ain't the right guy there to monitor the money.
Yeah,
to monitor to what we really need. If everything was monitored right, even in the hospital, it could be run so much. It's like the city of Hamilton. You ever go down, or the city of Toronto? Pull up to a job, there's 22 guys there, 2 guys are working.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's crazy. There's a book that I read when I was in med school called If Disney Ran Your Hospital. And imagine if you had a big corporation that actually that was they're a for-profit organization. But they're even worse. They spend more money on Medicare than we do in Canada on all of healthcare. They're just as crap. But if you take a big corporation, they've tried all these things here in Canada. Nobody in their elected government. It's interesting we talk about healthcare. Have you ever seen an election run on healthcare?
Never.
No, you won't. Nobody in a million
Unless you're
years.
in the States.
That's right. Nobody here will run an election based on healthcare because nobody wants to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Well, the problem with our healthcare is everybody thinks we got this great fucking healthcare.
I know.
Meanwhile, it's bullshit. Yes. Will they let you die at the corner? No. They'll pick you up and take you somewhere. Okay, or they'll take you to the hospital and look after you. I agree with that. And that's good. We can walk into any hospital if you got a broken arm or you're sick or you're hurt or you're on drugs or something. You can still walk in and get help, which is great. But
unless you need specific
come on. Yeah, well, come on. We got to get on top of everybody.
Yeah.
We have to help everybody. Not one or two. We have to make our policies work properly.
So Lee, let me ask you. Let's move into. So what's happening in the world of Lee's medicine right now? I see you're on Instagram. You're running a full man. You're like a celebrity getting on there on Instagram. Hey guys, I'm back again. I love it. It's great.
Well,
And so how many people would you say now that are being helped with the medicine that you're providing?
Over 1,000 people I've helped.
Really? And still never charged a penny.
Never.
Any
no.
interesting people that you've seen in the last?
Yeah, I've had lots of.
But no names. Don't mention any names.
No, I've had lots of great people. I've had lots of. Hey, you know what rips your heart out is when a lady comes to your place, like this one lady comes to my place, 39 years working in the hospital. 39 years. And in the cancer wards and everything. And this poor lady gets brain cancer. Doctor sits her down and says, I don't have to explain a lot to you. You're going to die. And there's nothing we can do to stop it because you got the wrong cancer. Now, come on, guys. What do you mean, nothing? So I'm helping her. She's on my Instagram, and I think I'm really helping her. And I can say this now because I got it 3 days ago. She had her first CAT scan or MRI. MRI.
CAT scan, MRI.
She had it. She had it first. Hey, she had the first one 2 months after. The tumor has not growing a drop.
Really?
And she is
Fantastic.
on cloud 9. And I think even her family's going, wow, maybe that stuff does work. And the doctor told her straight, you're not going to live. You're going to die.
Wow.
So it's okay.
And I'll tell you straight up. Aside from just doing Lee's medicine, Lee and Antoinette have both really helped get our new company off the ground over the last year, and invested significant as a partner and financially into helping New Era get off the ground. And why I think he did it, New Era Biopharma is our socially responsible biopharmaceutical company. Everything that Lee talks about, basically we infused into this company, and we're building around the idea that we're going to actually help people. It's taking a while.
And that's why I'm involved, because I know the people in that company, they're not looking for the big house and the big car.
Well, I don't have that.
They want it.
Yeah.
They got a nice house now, but they're happy to help people.
Yeah.
Do they want a nice car? Damn right they do. Do they want a big house? Sure
It'll
they
come
do.
later.
Do they want, but it'll come. But the reason I'm even there is because I believe these people really want to help people.
Yeah.
And they will help people.
And we will.
And they will help
We're
people.
so close. We're like on the precipice of everything just being done. So we're right about to launch our products for Terp Aid, which is the immune support.
Am I allowed to talk about the arthritis medicine?
Yeah, you could talk about it. It's amazing. It works amazing.
It's not really in the spot it's supposed to be right now. Like, we need to get this out to the people. We've helped
I know.
thousands of people, and I'm telling you. And I'm not going to mention the names, but doctors, chiropractors, pain doctors,
It's
everybody.
there. We just have to.
Hey, I have a doctor out east that's bugging me.
Can I just
to
interrupt?
help.
It's in the right spot. It's just not at the person
It's
yet.
not at the person.
And we will have it in your hands, Lee. I promise you that.
And I tell you right
month
now,
it'll be there.
I got a cousin, and this cousin of mine suffered for 20 years with and honestly, I don't even know what arthritis is until when people tell me, I go, why are you wearing that neck brace? Oh, I got so bad arthritis, my head bends a little bit, I get shooting pains. I go, really? Yeah, look at my hands, and their knuckles are all. They said I haven't wrote my name in 12 years. Haven't wrote you. And then they put this medicine on, and I hate to say it, 20 to 30 minutes later,
Yeah, they're moving their hands.
they're moving their hands,
It is
they're moving their
really-
feet.
Yeah.
Her neck don't hurt. I can read
Text.
Lee, I really need that medicine. I'm running out. Lee, please don't let me go back to my old way. And there's a person that suffered, but really suffered for 20. And when her friends call me that I'd never met, never seen, and they said, hey, she's my friend for 20 years. What you just did for her, she phones me up crying to tell me. She says, why?
Yeah.
Why did I have to suffer for 20 years?
You know what's crazy, though, is...
But
okay.
see?
What's crazy about the whole situation is that people aren't even ready. Like, we all get shocked when there's something that actually works for them, which is weird when you think... I'm just sitting here thinking... I'm thinking about it myself, saying... You know, and because, you know, when something's too good to be true, we always think it's too good to be true. But I guess in my head, I'm like, why do I think like that?
But you know what? No, you're right, because I'm going to tell you, I've helped so many people with that arthritis medicine.
I know that
and
works
they're like
well,
this.
the cream.
And they're like this. Topical and drops. I take the
topical,
drops
yeah.
every day for my needs, and it works great for me.
Yeah.
But they're like, I go, how do you feel? You know what, Lee? I don't know if I'm talking myself into this
Yeah.
or what, but the pain is gone. I go, come on, guys. It's either you got the pain or the pain's gone.
But you don't know why you don't have the pain,
Exactly.
right? So
And-
sometimes it's like, is it the placebo effect that's working? And I guess we've been bred to believe that nothing should actually work all that well. So we have to keep taking things. Do you think it's pharma's doing, or is it? But science has gone so far as well. We have to believe in evidence. I believe in evidence without pharma.
Do you know how we should compare it? Know how we should compare it?
Yeah, I'm listening.
It's like this. I can't really see over there. Oh, wow, that's better.
It's a good point. Yeah.
But, you know, it's just,
Right. I could see
it's
again.
hard to believe.
But
Hey,
I could,
I
yeah.
had a
That's a good
chiropractor
point.
tell me he started using it on his people, and he phoned me up and he goes, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I can't believe it works
But I don't
on
want to
everybody.
say the word magic because then people don't believe it. Well, because magic is magic means fuck. Because there's no. It's like saying religion. Sorry.
That's the problem of the world.
Shamans used to be the magic practitioners. They used to be connected.
Yeah, but they weren't. No, but that's before we had knowledge of what the medicine was that they were using. Yeah, but it's not magic. Hold on. No, I'm just going to stop right there because you just said the shaman were the people with the magic and the healed. Yeah, okay, well, let's talk about healing the body. We just didn't, we called it magic before we knew that it was actually working.
Okay.
Is it? No, but then I call that God of the gaps. If we don't understand it, we have to create something in order to make us feel better
Yeah.
about it. But then we can, or till science understands it, and now we have a reason. I think there's a lot of science behind what we're doing. It's all science, not just I think, I know. Every single ingredient we put in there has science and evidence behind it, so it works synergistically and it works really well. People just don't like saying, oh, it works so well because it's cannabis, can't be real. But even me, I catch myself at times, and my whole point is what developed, what created. You gave me a great example is I can't see, I put my glasses on, I can see, and I don't question that I can see because I know it's my glasses. But if I put on a cream or I take a spray, why do I still have that question? What was it that developed within me or within society or nature or science and medicine to say, maybe that's not real. Maybe when you put on your glasses, you're not really seeing and it's just fake. But you can't tell me it's fake. I put my glasses on, I can fucking see.
I think it goes back to the family doctor being eroded out of the system, right?
So you think it comes down to the corruption of medicine?
Well, I'm not going to blame medicine on everything. I'm going to tell you, I blame certain people that are pushing the medicine for money. Whenever there's a lot of money involved, there's a lot of corruption involved. Okay? Like people used to say about, like, let's take cocaine for a second. There's so much money in cocaine, but it hurts so many people. Like it's the greed of the drug dealer. Like when you see what it
But
does.
do we want to go into that?
Yeah,
do you want to
but-
go into cigarettes and cocaine? And
Yeah, but no, cigarettes ain't against the law. So,
but they hurt people.
but hey, sure they hurt people. Cigarettes hurt. Hey, putting gasoline in our car hurts people breathing it too.
I like the smell of gasoline.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
And tar on the road when you first.
It's so important
It smells so
to
good.
bring things into reality. And if we don't start
why
doing
he's
that,
always high.
we're always going to be trouble,
Okay, so what's the antidote to corruption? Yeah. So in medicine, so I feel like it's part of the college is transparency, not them, but of us. So when I publish a study, any study that I publish has to say where it was published, the funding that was received. Before I give any lecture, I have a whole declaration of I've worked here, I've done this. So here is my disclosure prior to starting. But
Fine before,
but why doesn't it work now though?
because after COVID, you've seen this time and time again, is that if you say certain things in a certain lane, you are shut down and
Right.
quick.
Right. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Well, there's so much money in COVID.
Right.
There's so many.
It is corrupted.
Just imagine.
Mentally. Like it's,
We're at number 4 booster.
yeah. How many people
Oy
have
vey.
to die before we admit what
We're at 4 booster. Hey,
Are we? Yeah.
hey, they're going like this. My mother got her 4th.
I'm being
She says, I know you don't agree with. I said, Ma, you've never had COVID. You got the 4th. You've only hide yourself in the house. You don't go nowhere.
fuck all that. Fuck all that. You're not.
My mom's 91, and for the last 2 years, she hasn't come out of the house.
If you don't
Wow.
allow natural immunity to be part of the vax pass and that get away with all the mandates, then it's not about health. And then we have a serious problem because we do have a serious problem. If I don't have my fundamental rights still because I refuse to get something that doesn't work, that puts my life at risk, and the government is doing it and people feel justified in doing it, we have a problem.
I do believe in bodily autonomy. That's what I will say on the issue. Every person, it's not just this country, my friend. It's the entire world.
That's right.
And autonomy has been removed.
You know, but look at Sweden. Nobody wants to fucking
Okay,
talk
but
about
people,
Sweden.
yeah, but it's
Look
a,
at their death rate.
okay.
Lower than any other
Yeah,
country
but-
in Europe, and they did fuck all. They didn't do the
no, they did. They did open up. They did close down at one point. They did all that. So they were ebb and flow.
Not really, they
Yes,
only
they
to a
did.
certain age. And that's
They
what
ebb and
should've
flowed.
done.
Right. So okay, okay. So that's one. There's always different ways to
Well,
skin a
there-
cat.
You know.
Not everybody can be right, and not everybody can be wrong, and there's some people in between.
I'm gonna go on, and I think everybody can say this. I think there was too many people jumping to conclusions.
Yes.
With this vaccine,
Oh, I
they
don't
pushed it out too far. They pushed it out too fast and too far.
I think they went too fast.
The
with
other
it.
day,
I do think they went too
the
fast.
other day, Obama was on. The other day, Obama was on TV in an interview, and he said, quote for quote, he said, "We've given out billions of experiment vaccines."
What's the first code in Nuremberg?
Well, when you say,
No.
hold it.
No, this is a direct.
When you say we gave out billions of test vaccines, we've lied to the people.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this ain't a test. This is you're getting this
Right.
if it works or not.
Oh, here we go. This is pick on Ira. I don't know.
You cannot force
You
a
can't.
medical experiment
On-
on somebody under coercion,
Correct.
which we violate every single day.
It does. The first Nuremberg law does says you can't.
I want to know this.
because of what happened.
Stop Nazi Germany.
I want to know
It
this.
happened in Nazi Germany.
I want to
That's
know
correct.
this. If I was a doctor and I sent someone home to die, and then I found out they didn't die, I would make it my job to
To know
find
why.
out why they
So
didn't.
would I.
Pick the phone up, talk to anybody. I don't care who it is. Could you just tell me what you did?
Yeah.
Because I don't want my next patient to die if I can help him.
Those doctors don't do that.
Okay, great
not allowed.
question. Hold on. No, they are allowed. Okay, that is an excellent question. So the question is, bringing it back, is why would a physician not spend the time to investigate? Let's say they had a patient. Lee makes a good point, and that was the question that was raised by Lucas. The question is, why would a physician not call the family, call somebody, investigate the unusual circumstance of you were supposed to die because I told you were going to die, but you didn't die, and now you're in front of me. Why would a physician not investigate that? That's the question, right? Am I right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you're going to hate my answer. My answer is going to suck, and it's just my opinion, okay? Because physicians are allowed to go and do that, and some of us do that, that extra legwork, and we'll do that investigation into it. There's really
Outside the perception is it's jaded.
right. So the answer is on the inside is that physicians are overworked. Physicians are exhausted, especially cancer docs. Every single day they see people die. Imagine all you did your entire life was tell people they were going to die every single
So
day.
why don't they pick the phone up and call me?
Because they're overworked and exhausted. Because they don't have the time to spend that extra 5 fucking minutes. Because one, they're not you could say they're not compensated well enough, but also their humanity is exhausted. They are tired.
Uh-huh.
It's like me in the emergency department. Hold on, me in the emergency department. Sometimes I'll get on the phone when a patient tells me that their family doc sent them in. for something that a family doctor should have done, or a nursing home sends them in for something they shouldn't have been, called for. So I will sometimes get on the phone, or I'll have somebody else call if I'm too busy, but I will make that a point to get on the phone and call that person. But imagine I get on the phone. It's not just dialing one number, speak to a doctor. It's the doctor's gone till Wednesday, or this doctor's not here anymore, or please wait on hold for 10 minutes, or let me get you in charge of this person. And before you know it, you've spent hours of your time when you should have been seeing somebody else, because that duty you have to do. So you have to move on to the next person. The system is not developed or designed to do that. I'm not saying they don't want to. I'm not saying it's not even their responsibility, because it probably is their responsibility to help at all costs. But in maybe olden days, you could do that, where you had 10 patients to take care of, and you can know their entire family life. You can know everything, and you can call them. But now you go into a cancer center, and they have 50 patients they have to see in a day. Imagine they had to do that 50 times a day. It's not simple. So you have to create the resources to do that. And in order to do that, you have to fund the system appropriately, and it's not. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong about all of this, and anybody listening to me, it is solely my opinion.
The money's there. It's just not getting directed to the right.
I don't know if the money's there. Our province is broke.
No, but we just said.
Yes, we did. And where did that, right. And that money never made it to the places that it needed to be. So Lee, you're correct. And I wouldn't take it as a slight to what you're doing. I would take it as a system failure.
Okay, so for instance, and you know this is true, Ira, there was a naturopath doctor in Niagara Falls. She had non-curable leukemia.
And this is going to be your last point, because we've done good.
No, she had non-curable leukemia.
Yes.
Okay? She's seen, I think, 2 or 3 doctors. They all told her the same story. I found out. I went to her house. I'll never forget the dates. April 30th at 10:30, quarter to 11 at night, I went to her house to help her. She said, "You would really come out here tonight?" I said, "Yeah, because you know why? If they sent you home to die, that one day could save you." And she said, "You believe you can save me?" I said, "Yeah, I believe I can save you."
But you don't know that.
I know it because I've done 6 before that. So I knew she had a pretty good damn chance. I took a 23-year-old hockey player with the same thing. Jerry and Kenny asked me to help. Same thing. He's cancer-free. He don't have leukemia no more. If you want to call it in remission, well, he's been in remission for 3 years. This lady is cured. April 30th, I went to her house. August 28th, she was cured.
Well, she's still alive.
Yeah, she's still alive. She's living with no problem. When she goes back when they take her blood, doctor goes, "You don't have cancer anymore." End of story. But why? But why does a doctor do that? So why don't you put in the medicals in Ontario? Why don't you say, "I'm Dr. Ira Price, and I'm going to give you all a good hint here. When you get a leukemia patient you can't help, call Lee Whitley. He'll help you."
Well, but we do that. What do you think we've been doing with cancer for the last 12 years? When the traditional system can't help you, then you have to use. I believe that's where cannabis.
Yeah, but no one's called me to help somebody.
That's where cannabis is most, because you're not a physician.
I don't have to be a physician. I'm the one that can save them.
No, you just have a medicine. You don't know how it's working. You know nothing about it.
Well, I
you don't
know
know
one thing.
Science
when they don't got cancer no more, it's working pretty damn good.
You're right. But they will call me.
I know.
So they will call me.
Yeah.
But
the public is switching them, because as trust erodes from one side, it goes to the other side.
I know, but that's just a pendulum, and eventually it'll swing back to the middle.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Of course it will. You live in a bubble. What they want you to see when you want to see on social media, that's what it shows you. It doesn't show you the rest of the 85% of the world that don't believe like you. Yeah, 15% of the world believes like you, and that's all you'll see, because social media is good at showing you. I don't. I don't. And I think the pandemic has shown us that.
70% of the people believe in CNN. If they see it on CNN, it's true.
It's not. You look at CNN's numbers.
Okay, forget it. The news. We're talking about MSM.
No. But in general, their numbers are so far down.
I get it, but let's not talk about CNN. I think what his point is, fucking Lucas, is that people believe what they see on television.
And they hear every day.
But my point to you is only 15% of people think like you.
That's not true.
Yes,
How
it.
many people listen to Rogan every day? How many people?
I don't know how many.
It's like over 30 million.
Okay, great.
But how many people are in the
fucking
world?
No.
How many people watch CNN?
Who cares? 2 million. Nothing.
not even.
Okay, it's like nothing. I don't disagree with you, but that's fucking CNN. 90% of our population believes in this stuff.
Hey, but
Okay.
listen.
Anyway, all right.
Listen.
Last point. Go ahead.
When you pump it into people's head 24/7, they start to believe
We're
it.
changing the paradigm. We've been working on it for the last 2 fucking years, or 12 fucking years. I've been working on changing the paradigm. Lee has been working on it for 50 years, spent 20 of his years in prison for it, and the world is changing. But we still have only 15% of the people that believe that.
Yeah.
And so it's not more than 15% of the world.
No, it's less.
He believes it's even right. I'm with them on
It's
it.
less because if you add, even if you say millions, there's trillions of people.
Well, there's 7 billion. There's 8
700
billion.
billion or something.
8
isn't it?
billion. 8
8
billion.
billion. So
8 billion.
There's 8 billion people and only 2 million. No, but listen.
And all those people that listen to Rogan, most people don't all. I know, but they don't all believe it. They're just listening to see what they can fucking harp on.
But you know
Yes,
what?
they do.
Joe does good
they-
things.
Okay.
Joe does good things.
Joe Rogan, yeah, he does good. He says
sure.
stupid shit too, but everybody does. I say
Everybody
stupid
does.
shit.
Everybody does.
But at the
Trust him. That's the difference.
okay, but at the end of the day,
Why
you're
do they
looking
trust
at,
him?
Because he admits when he's wrong.
No, I don't know if he does.
So
no, I
but
think he's-
listen, Joe admits when it's going to interfere with what he's doing.
That's right.
Because he's getting paid big
He's
money to
getting-
do what he does.
But he's gotten that so much money for it. Okay, the bottom line is we have 15% of our population that believes in this. Okay, it's just you live in a bubble.
There's lots of things. There's lots
But
of
we
things
can
in
change
medicine
that.
that we know.
When I started, it was 2%. I'll tell you, cannabis probably nobody believed in. But now we're looking at a whole world of people that now believe in it. So, okay, but cannabis, so we've dropped the seeds and now we're building. And those things are happening. And so that's a good sign. But we still have a long fucking way to go.
Yeah.
And
way.
A long way to go.
We just differ on the way to
I
get there.
I hope I live. I'm going to say
You're
this.
going to be alive. If I
live the next 10 years, 90% of the cancer will be gone.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
You want to bet me?
I got nothing to bet you with, Lee. Here, you can have, what do you want? My car? It's all yours. You want my pink
No,
shoes?
I don't want money in that. I want
What do you want? Tell me what you want, because
one year and you in the gym to look.
Fuck off. You're such a dick. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. That's all we got time
Okay,
for
guys,
today.
see you later.
See you later. See you later. See you later.